online reactions to the Johnny Depp v. Amber Heard court case. Johnny Depp testifying in the defamation case he is a part of on April 19, 2022, in the Fairfax County Circuit Courthouse in Fairfax, Virginia. The Virginia libel trial involving actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, who were wed between 2015 and 2016, got underway on April 11, 2022. The lawyer conducting the interrogation gave forth another message written by Depp to a third party during the actor's court appearance in which he discussed Heard. The letter reads, "I hope that bitch's corpse is festering in the trunk of a filthy Honda Civic." The discussion immediately became overrun with comments from viewers of YouTube, where the entire trial is streamed live. The spectators laughed. Someone commented, "LOL Honda Civic." The majority of online comments are in support of Johnny Depp. The expressions "justice for Johnny Depp" and "free Johnny" are frequently used, or, at the very least, unmistakably against Amber Heard. The disagreement between the two movie stars stems from Depp's $50 million defamation lawsuit against Heard following an editorial she wrote for The Washington Post in 2018 in which she discussed her experiences with domestic violence. Although Heard did not specifically mention Depp in the piece, Depp's attorneys contend that he was making a reference to the actor and that it damaged his career. Later, Heard filed an appeal seeking $100 million in damages. The jury will also make a decision on that issue. The abuse claims are refuted by both parties. A verdict is still a long way off, and the trial will probably last 6 weeks in all. But many of his supporters have really declared that Depp is the genuine victim. A TikTok video's description reads, "I want to give him a hug and tell him he's going to be okay." It is a circumstance that, in the opinion of gender justice activist Farah Khan, casts doubt on our comprehension of how abuse actually develops. Khan also tells Vice News that it might lead abuse victims and survivors to keep quiet out of concern for consequences similar to those Heard is already enduring. Heard is referred to as a freak and a Karen in comments on the trial webcast. Many anonymous viewers accuse the actress of acting snotty, pretending to cry in court, and being manipulative, calculated, and definitely a con artist. Others nickname her bipolar and make fun of her hair, clothes, and personality. Memes and hashtags on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok refer to her as a liar, social climber, and Amber Turd. "He had every right to kill you," according to a popular TikTok. One person refers to Heard as a crazy bitch and writes in an email to the Vice News tip line with the subject line "Amber Turd." Since she has a vagina and defacetic, the woman must have a justification. "Trust all women," Khan says. "We need to talk about how it takes less time to say he's a victim and she's a liar than it does to believe a woman." The public is reveling in her defeat. After Heard's attorney claimed the actress was using Milani's concealer to hide alleged bruises brought on by Depp, the cosmetics company Milani also got involved. The business demonstrates that the in-question product was introduced in 2017, a year following Depp and Heard's divorce, in a TikTok video that has received about 5 million views. Khan claims, "I have never seen talk about domestic abuse, let alone do it that way." The initial occurrence. He stands up for an extremely strong, older, and career-launching man. Heard met Depp, a considerably more experienced and prosperous man in Hollywood, when she was in her 30s. The natural disparity in power between them, however, hasn't generated as much attention. Depp's supporters have noted that men sometimes experience abuse, despite the fact that none of the professionals disturbed by the negative responses to Heard on social media have ever disputed it. Khan explains, "The objective is not to deny that a guy might experience harm, and factors in this case have come to light that make it evident that has done things that are not appropriate in a partnership. However, it is interesting that all other parties being considered in this conversation have been completely eliminated. Why must we choose sides and support Johnny Depp or Amber Heard? Depp had most likely assaulted Heard, according to the verdict of an earlier trial that took place in England. In that instance, Depp sued News Group newspapers and The Sun's editor, Dan Wootton, for libel after the publication labeled him a wife abuser. After a British court determined the words of the tabloid paper were essentially true, Depp lost his case in 2020. At the time, Depp and Heard accused one another of running sophisticated PR campaigns, and Heard accused Depp of smearing her online using bots and nefarious social media accounts. Additionally, in 2020, after only mentioning the sordid character of the case, attorney Mark Stevens, a commentator who talked with The Guardian, claimed to have gotten a deluge of angry mail. Stevens told The Guardian, "I've seen so many high-profile trials, but never a reaction like this. The web messaging appears to be biased because there are so many interests on Depp's side. After all the threatening notes that were shown in court, such as 'I'm going to rape her burned body to make sure she's actually dead,' there clearly appears to be a double standard because Depp is given a pass." Depp has acknowledged how substance abuse has affected his relationships and made him feel regretful in past letters to Heard, her family, and his own friends. These letters also show a person who is battling multiple addictions. "I frequently hear statements like he's an eccentric artist who had a drinking and drug issue," adds Khan. Let's make place for those who have experienced trauma and turn to drugs or alcohol as a coping mechanism. Heard, meanwhile, views him as a whore and all the worst things in the world. This explains why so many victims of abuse choose not to report it. Khan claims that because abuse survivors are frequently expected to be the ideal victim, Heard doesn't fit the standard mold. We hold the notion that victims never resist, adds Khan. They take the blows and don't react. Any damage must have been recorded, but not in a way that suggests you wanted to deceive anyone. You must accept the attacks without retaliating, but you must safeguard yourself sufficiently to file a formal complaint. According to Khan, the perfect victim is typically a white, cisgender, heterosexual lady who has only ever been with her spouse, a loving wife. Khan claims that Heard's bisexuality has frequently been used as a double-edged weapon. Throughout the course of her marriage to Depp, the celebrity was accused of cheating and promiscuity. The issue with so much of the online reporting of what's happening is that it misses the subtleties and potential consequences in real life. Domestic violence can have extremely negative effects, while groups that generally claim that women are posing as victims for ulterior motives are finding favorable conditions online thanks to polarized positions and deliberate disregard for statistics on abuse and reporting.